Hey, Warrior Saints, good morning. Welcome to our Wednesday episode of the Crucifixional Life stream. Glad to have you beautiful people in with us. We've been having a blast this week. We're pushing it a little bit. We're talking about hard things. There is a current scandal in the NBA world, for those who may not know, and it is about the owner of the Phoenix Suns, where I live, whose name is Robert Sarver. And he is accused of being of using racist and misogynistic language against people in the organization. And of course, the world, that's the hot button topic right now in the world, trying to clean that all up. And so everybody in media jumped all over that. It was fodder, it was fun for them because they had a new thing to talk about. It's hard to talk about things all the time, so they got new, fresh material. And in this, most of us jumped to one side or the other. And we've been talking about it over the last couple of days. First is that we can't jump to conclusions. And second, that was Monday. And yesterday we talked about, they can't legislate a morality. I mean, it's just not, God is the moral executor. You know what I mean? This is not something for you or I or the state or anyone else. Today we want to talk about in that conclusion or that temptation to jump to conclusions, to have that knee-jerk reaction. As warrior saints, we have got to have a discerning mind. We have to be able to think and not just take whatever's given to us via big tech and all the news media outlets that we have. And I'm going to talk about some heavy things, and some people may get irritable with me and disagree, and that's okay. That's your right and prerogative to do that. But I want you to think, all right? So in this particular case, Robert Sarver is a white man. And he was accused by a group of people, and I don't know who they all are. And as I said twice already this week, I don't know Sarver. I've never met him, so I don't have any skin in this game. I'm not really concerned one way or the other about it, except to say that this group of people, they accused him of saying racist words or misogynistic words. And there was a coach that he hired a few years ago who was black and was fired. And he said that the N-word was used in a conversation. And so when we hear that, because we're all kind of primed for anger against any of these accusations, everyone jumped, right? And yet, did we discern? Did we think? Now, let me present some things to you. In another interview, and I think James Jones is the GM. He's a high-ranking executive in the Suns organization, general manager, player operations. I don't remember what James Jones is. He's a former player. He used to play in the NBA, who is a black man, and said, I've never seen or heard any of that kind of material with Robert Sarver. The head coach of the Phoenix Suns, Monty Williams, who is also a black man, he was a little softer. He hedged a little bit and said, well, I'm going to wait to see until everything comes out, which is fair. But he also said that the reason that he chose the job of the Suns was because of, or one of the reasons that he chose that job was because of the great conversations he had with Sarver in the hiring process. And he said, quote, it's definitely... ownership definitely had something to do with me taking this position. So he had some positive things to say about it. Another hot button issue, which is kind of fading, this is the new one, was the Los Angeles Raiders coach, John Gruden, who is a white man and was the coach of the Raiders. And he was accused, they found emails, for those who may not know, where he used incendiary language against DeMaurice Smith, who is a black man, and he's the head of the NFL Players Association, their union. And so it caused the scandal, and Gruden ended up losing his job, and he's been branded a racist and all this kind of stuff. But we discovered that he goes to church in Las Vegas, where he lives, and the pastor of that church is a man named Randall Cunningham. Now, for those who don't know, Randall Cunningham is a former NFL player. He's a quarterback, played for the Eagles, among other teams, and he also is a black man. And he said, John Gruden isn't a racist. He's a faithful man. He comes to my church, pastored by a black guy. He's like, I've never seen or know any of this kind of stuff. All of these examples I use, they may be pulling our chains. I don't know. Maybe they're all making it up because they're collusion. I don't know. But the point I want us to see is that we cannot just jump when you hear it. You have to discern. Take all of the data, everything you can find, and put it together in your own mind, right? Not like if Facebook tells you this, you can't jump on it. If Fox News tells you that, you can't jump on it. It may be true and it may not be. But in I guess the theme that we're pushing this week is not to be mindless, not to take what they say and make it your own. Listen to it, think about it, process it, be logical in your mind, and come to your own conclusion. Use your mind. That's what we'll talk about really in more depth on Friday. But it's the key I want us to know, or to take away today, is that, look, being a warrior saint is not easy, right? In fact, as we always say, if it's easy, it's wrong. To be a warrior saint means you got to do the hard things. And sometimes thinking is difficult, especially with all the noise out there that's trying to tell us what to think. You have to dig deep inside and use your own brain and think. We're going to help you do that. Sometimes, well, a lot of time, nay, all the time, people need guides and mentors, and that's what we are. That's what the Warrior Saint team is. We are here by God's commission. I mean, like, I'm not doing this for the money, believe me. I'm doing it because God said, go do it. And we're teaching the gospel to the best of our ability. And we have a beautiful platform to help all of us. It gives us hope, direction, guidance, knowing that there's something so much more when we are able to hear God's commandments and say, that's what it means and that's how it works. I'm going to implement that in my life, which is why we always want you to visit warriorsaints.org. Become a warrior saint. Very simple. warriorsaints.org. Join the way of the warrior saint. We're going to give you the guidance, the teaching, how to have a discerning mind directly from God. Not from me. Nobody cares about me. Directly from God and his teachings. To use that to have our minds open, logical, thinking, and discerning. Join us. Great stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about strength and not being offended. Till then, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.